Chapter 2. First impressions hit hard. It was a chilly, rainy season in an already cold and hilly region. In spite of the hot and sweaty summer, I loved this tingling and pelting, didn't know why, from my birth rain has been playing a life-sustaining role. My nanny said that it started to rain 10 days after my birth and it had stopped only after 10 days. It never happened for about a century. It rains every year on my birthday or my mom's death day. I consider it a blessing from my mom. She died after giving birth to me, and though I had a father, never seen him in these 16 years. Whenever I pushed my nanny, she had different stories to tell. He is mentally affected, bonded labor, etc. Not even a year-old girl believes it. She, Catherine, was my dearest friend. More than that, she is like a sister to me. I thought we had been friends of birth. She knew better about me than any other and vice versa. It was my dream to study in a boarding school. It may seem silly, but for a middle-class girl, it was a wish beyond our measure. And finally, there we were. My nanny never allowed me out, except for Kat's home. It had been a mystery how she entrusted Mr. George, Kat's father, when he convinced her. No one in this beautiful world was as happy as me at that moment. Finally got a seat in Oakhart Academy, better education and infrastructure in St. Marshall Town. Kat and me, it was going to be awesome. The morning looked so dark, with no sun to shine under the sky. Alarm rang at midnight, the sleepless night. I got up more quickly before it had stopped. Usually I was the girl who sets 4 snoozes to wake up. I went straight to the cold bathroom, my bare skin shivered when touched the water, slowly went into the bathtub and dreamt of my life in there, closing my eyes. "Safi, it's time. Come out," Kat bellowed. "I'm coming," I said to her, getting up from the bathtub. Kat in her blue jean and navy blue t-shirt, which suited her brown eye color, me in dark black jean and top that matched my black eyes. I stood in front of the mirror. A tall, slender, and beautiful girl gazed at me. I smiled back at her. I patted my hair one more time and we started towards our first day of school. We were instructed to assemble at the auditorium but ended, unfortunately, misdirected, to the development hall. Finally, Kat asked the nearby security for the directions. Thank God. It was not that far away from there. That was a very big hall, already most of them assembled there. We joined a group of girls who were seriously discussing boys. Kat has been always a chatty type, but I, on the other hand, reserved one. So, I sat in silence near chatting Catty. I gazed over the boys' side. Only a few of them were handsome. Without turning to the girls, I asked, "Here, the boys are only passable. What do you think, Catty?" pondering over the boys standing there. When I got no answer, I turned back, and they looked stunned. They startled with open mouths. Their silence went on for a while. This is Safrine, my best mate," Kat said, breaking the ice, looking at me. "I'm sorry." "Hi, I'm Safrine. Call me Safi," I apologized. One bold-looking girl with heavy eyelids came forward. "Hey, this is Maria," she smiled warmly and took my hands. One by one got introduced. I remembered their faces and names, but not which name for whose face. Then Kat sat with me whispering, "The boy with the curly hair looks handsome." "Who?" "He." "Nope, he is like a loser." The one in the red shirt?" "Not that guy, please." "Yellow shirt?" "Not to be trusted." "White?" "Never suits you." "Green?" "Coward." "Another green?" "Looks gay." "Hey," she bellowed. With a jerk, I turned to her, and I demanded, "What?" in confusion. "Don't you think anyone handsome here?" She saw me with wide eyes. I blinked at her. "What? Where? When did I say that?" "Oh God, Safi, you just commented on everyone I showed not handsome. not to be trusted, coward, gay. She pointed at each one of them. No, I never said anything. Are you crazy? I really didn't know what she was talking about. Safi, she said with her hands on her hip and no words came out of her mouth. That's my yellow card. Okay. Chillax. Maybe I would have just blabbered, babe. Cool. You know about me, right? She calmed down. The principal and other faculties entered the auditorium, and the chairs shuffled. The background theme sounded like a remix of an old song. Mr. Dylan Carpenter, a short and plump man, addressed the gathering. Freshest Day programs went well. Finally, the principal spoke, "A warm welcome to you all. We are glad that you, wise people, chose our academy to strengthen your life and career. More than your academics, only knowledge fetches you to your goal, and our gifted faculties shape you to fit the world, both physically and mentally. Explore your talent." That was the last word I heard, then my mind wandered somewhere, not anything specifically. The principal stated some rules and regulations, etc. My stomach growled, I felt so hungry. The speech got over and we dispersed. We followed the volunteers to the lunch hall. After taking the breakfast tray from the counter, walked to the last empty table. A few boys and girls were already getting pinned. I thought, how fast. We went to the student affairs office straight from the canteen. We showed the admission card and got class number 07, again my lucky number, spade block. It was a big junior college. As if in my dreams, the lawn was clean with clear crystal grass and a nice concrete pathway in between them, many trees, under that a resting bench in wood, foggy climate, and a group of students scattered everywhere protected inside thick jackets. Kat had already drawn her pullover from her bag. But I couldn't, it was my dream, my destiny. I couldn't help but to enjoy this heaven, which was built and waiting for my arrival like a princess. My thoughts were interrupted by Kat. "Do you know where Spade Block is?" she asked a passerby. "I'm a fresher too, like you guys." "I'm Alvina," she greeted with a smile. "Oh. Hey, I'm Catherine, and this is Safrine," she pointed to me. I nodded to her hi. Then we three set to the trail. I sank back into my thoughts. I felt the cold wind wiping my forehead, fresh air caught me and it smelt of green. I closed my eyes for a moment. Seeing my weirdness, Kat dragged me off, holding my hands with fright that I might slip. I enjoyed every step. When Kat and Alvina came to an abrupt halt, I looked up to see a few boys blocking our way. By their appearance, it seemed like they might be our seniors. Alvina's and Catherine's faces changed. The boy with freckles asked, "Lost by your looks, haven't you?" We all kept silent. Then he spoke again, "Your names," pointed to me first. I stood still. When he held my hand, I glared at him and muttered, "Idiots." "What did you say?" He came forward with little anger reading my lips. "Nothing," I said, looking away. I asked what. He stood before me folding his hands across his chest. I said nothing, I said in his face. He smirked gloomily, spared Alvina and Kat. He threatened them to go away. They refused. "Get going, I can handle them," I said, turning back at them. They moved with hard steps. I turned towards them with braveness. "Oh, look guys, she can handle all of us," the freckled boy said. They laughed all together. He came to me, held my hands up, and said in a teasing tone, "Handle me first, baby." When he touched, something wild erupted inside me. I grabbed his collar, pulled him down, and slapped. "Don't you dare, you spineless pig." They stared at me speechless. I stepped back. When I turned away from them, got a slap, and without giving much time I returned the person's favor, slap. I bored into Blue eyes for a fraction of a second and beat down the path. The boys behind me shouted, "Kris! Kris, are you all right?" I never cared, met Kat behind the tree waiting for me. From her look, I concluded that she wasn't aware of the incident. At last, we reached the spade block. When I entered the class, I was totally wrong before. The boys who ragged us were not seniors but our classmates. I didn't linger there. We took the bench in the corner, famously known as the last bench wax. LBW. Making sure that no one is in our earshot, I narrated what she had missed. She followed every word with her mouth agape. Furiously she barked at me, "Are you mad? What have you done, Safi?" "Oh, God. Relax," I calmed her down. "You know very well that it's not my mistake. You didn't see their behavior. Everything will be all right. Please, stop fussing," I said with a pang of guilt. She hugged me back understandingly. She gives me a hug whenever I am upset. It made me fresh and positive. I closed my eyes, hugging her, and when I opened them, the same blue eyes stared into mine. Since the eyes caught my full attention, I couldn't focus on the face. Immediately I turned my eyes to the opposite side. Another boy stood in front of me with a heart-aching smile, green eyes, fair, shoulder-length curly hair, healthy, fit, and strong. I didn't return a smile. Instead, I turned to face the smartboard. Kat welcomed him with a wide smile. I forced myself a smile and asked him, "What do you want?" "Could you spare me a seat?" he said calmly. "Don't." Without letting me finish my sentence, Kat bellowed, "Sure," to make the sound overcome mine. He took a seat next to her. "Hey, I'm John, simply Joe," he extended his arm. Kat took it with interest. "I'm Catherine, Kat." He warmly smiled at her. She turned scarlet and pink. God, she was blushing. I had never seen her like that. He then turned to me saying, "You, miss? Are you asking me?" I pointed my forefinger towards me. "Well, yes," he shrugged. "I'm Safrine," said in a bored voice. "Or Safi," Kat made a counter with grin. I smirked at them. I don't fancy boys much, also not very good with them. They started to discuss something and I turned to face the window. My watch ticked 9, and a tall man entered the class. "Hi everyone, I'm Julian Matthew, your class in charge. I know that you all are new but you people are going to love this place. No, pardon me, a palace. Be friendly to ask anything you need." Again I evolved out. He took attendance and asked us to self-introduce. I stood and gave an intro about myself. "Hiya, I'm Safrine, from Battle Town. My interests are swimming, books, and solving puzzles. I want to become a doctor," finished with a smile and looked around. Everyone nodded encouragingly. I am aware of not turning to the bench in the farthest corner on my right. Again, my mind went buzzing. After 10 minutes or so, a particular deep voice distracted me. "I'm Kristen, from Battletown. My interests boxing and basketball." Some boys cheered when he finished. The bell rang after 2 hours, or that's how it felt. I went outside and stood in the corridor admiring the new start of my life. After 5 minutes, the class started again. The first day was splendid. We returned to our dormitory exaggerating the past few hours. Our room was small with 2 beds, study tables, and a separate cupboard. As soon as we entered our room, I quickened to the bathroom first. I watched my reflection in the mirror, looking pale, all the blood drained out from my face, wet hair and slightly smudged eyeliner. "You are more than passable, Safi." I patted my shoulder and kissed my reflection. "Safi." Kat knocked on the door. "Yes." I called after her and fastened myself to casuals. "I'm coming." When I opened the door, she knocked me aside and hurried inside. Ouch. Cat, I bellowed and spread myself on the bed. It was comfortable, warm, and felt like home. Cat came after 10 minutes. How was the day? I asked her, curving my eyebrows up. Lovely. Yours? She asked. Rainy, I gave the impression to every syllable. Not again. I got bored about your rain philosophy, she grunted. Fine. Fine, don't start your theory. So, I see that you got a boyfriend already, haven't you? I asked her threateningly. On hearing that, she blushed and said, What about him? God. Katie, you are blushing. You falling, sorry, already fallen in love. She bumped her hands to my mouth. Shush. Keep quiet, I nodded in acknowledgement. She dropped her hands. I roared with laughter, her eyes watered and I stopped laughing. Sorry, Cat, I peered through the green eyes cupping her face. She cried. Cat, don't cry. I was kidding. Believe me. I'm sorry, really. No, it's nothing. It just came, wiping her tears and smiling sweetly. Okay, now tell me all about your Romeo. I sat facing her, folding my legs. Where to start? It was his eyes that locked me up. Well, I know that you never believe in first-sight love. But it seems like that. He is the one, I know, he is the one, who is everything to me. And she deepened in her thoughts. What about me then? I stood folding my hands, facing her. She looked up at me like, I don't understand. I laughed and she too grinned. Congrats, I hugged her. Thanks, replied in a sad tone. What now? I demanded. I don't know whether he felt about me the same. What if? Cat dragged. Boys are very clever and smart. They know it from the moves of a girl whether she is interested in him or not. He likes you so much. I talked as though I had experienced it. She interrupted. But, how do you know? She argued. I saw in his eyes, the way he sees you, and his body language changes, not really noticed anything else. She smiled weakly and opened her mouth to argue. Ooh, it's very cold in here. Shall we have some hot tea? What do you think? She merely nodded and we started towards the food hall. I enjoyed walking in the cold breeze. It drizzled all the time. The path was so welcoming that I would walk in there all night without sleeping. Do you really feel cold? She asked grudgingly. Yes, of course. Don't you see my teeth clatter? I showed my teeth. Yes, of course. One who is neither wearing her sweater nor her jerkin feels cold. She stared at me. I controlled my laugh and nodded like a child who was caught stealing ice creams late at night. After we finished the tea, we decided to explore, and found that the boys' dorm was on the other opposite side from ours. When we returned to our dorm, a small pathway grabbed my attention, so I dragged Cat towards that. It led to deep woods. After 10 minutes of walking, we reached a beautiful lake which was very calm and welcoming. Come, Cat, I have never seen such a place. I started to undo my dress as I speak. What are you doing? She became startled. Going swimming. Wanna join me? I forwarded to the water wearing my long slip and boxer shorts. Safi, it's cold and dark already. Water could be dangerous. She stopped me. Do you think that I'll leave the lake without swimming? If it is dangerous, they would have informed us or kept some warning boards. I looked around for some warning signs. I don't see any. Do you? But I can't stay long. I said I'll meet Joe at 7. It's already 6:45. She got tense. Wait, if that's your problem, then go. Meet him. Come back later, all right? I raised my thumb. I can't leave you alone, she said seriously. I'm not a child, Kate, I shooed her. Okay, I'll go and send someone for you, maybe Nina. She's in the room next to us, so that I'll know that you weren't alone. She checked her watch again. Okay. She gave me one last hug and left. It was a large lake with wet sands, surrounded by trees. The water was chilly. When I stepped in, it froze me to the bone. I swam for what felt like a very long time. Cat never returned, and no one came to fetch me. So, I climbed up to the dock to get my clothes. As I bent down to grab them, I heard faint footsteps behind me. Reaching for my clothes at the corner of the dock, I called out, "What kept you so late, Katie?" Instead of Kate's voice, there was a heavy breath. I turned instantly. Dark blue, calm, and peaceful eyes stared back at me in the bright moonlight, and my heart left a connection with my mind. It was as if my life no longer existed without those Brazilian night blue eyes. Each beat of his heart pulled me towards it. I moved closer and whispered, "Where have you been all these years? I was waiting for you." For all these centuries, my lips trembled. He closed his hands around my hips and pulled me closer. Everything around me faded into nothing. It was him, only him. Someone yelled from a distant place in my mind, but as the minutes passed, the voices grew louder and louder. Yet, I never left his gaze. "Hey Kris, you got her?" That was what I heard. Did I hear it correctly? Yes, of course, because it had been repeated 3 or 4 times. "Kris. Kris, are you all right?" the stranger asked again. Something got heavy inside me. I pulled his hands away from me, extended my right arm, and pushed him back. At the same time, I descended rearwards. Water surrounded me. A hand grabbed mine, and I spluttered and gasped. It pulled me out of the water, but on seeing the helping hand's eyes, once again, I broke free from its grip and sank deeper into the water. Though I'm good at swimming, my mind had gone totally vacuous. Like, share, subscribe and click that bell icon for more.